Morning guys. So it's been a really crap start to the year. This is only our second job of the year, and it's just a continuation of the IKEA PAX hacks. This one's for her mum, but we're not using IKEA furniture today. This is just a relative of that client. So all we're doing today is literally, she's got a built-in little bookcase which is a pre-finished in like an oaky colour, and she wants to put a door on it. So all we're going to do is we're going to make an MDF door, and it's going to be painted white so that it blends in with the rest of the wall and try and disguise it a little bit. And it's going to be push to open, so there'll be no handle. So we're trying to sort of, it's not going to disappear completely, but it's just to sort of disguise it with a door. That's all we're here to do. So I'll just take you inside and I'll show you what we are doing. Okay, so this is the bookcase. So we're going to put a door on, hinged on the right hand side. And then we're going to put two fillers in either side, and we're going to paint that bottom bit at the bottom white, and that's what we're going to do for it. So that's basically the plan. So first job we've got to do is cut the door. So I know in measurements it's 620 wide by 219 high. So we're just going to rip it down to the width, cut it to the height, bung the hinges on it, rub the edges down to not so sharp, and then that can basically be painted. Then we can hang it, then I can just cut and measure the infill. So it's quite a quick, easy job. The longest part of today is going to be painting it. So stay tuned and we'll get stuck in. So using the track saw, we've already got our pencil marks at each end. So we're just going to quickly run this through with the track saw. Okay, so we've got it now cut to height, cut to width. So all we're going to do now is we're going to come down 10 centimetres, and we're going to come down 10 centimetres and put our hinges in, and then we're going to put another two evenly spaced. So we're going to have 4 hinges total on this door. So we're going to do 10 centimetres there. We're going to do 10 centimetres down here. Set square that out and now and we're going to measure the distance between the two and divide it by 3, and then that should give us another 2 measurements. Okay, so the distance between our 2 pencil marks, which is that one there and that one there, is 199. You divide that by 3 and it comes in close to 66 centimetres. So measuring 66 down, 66 down should give you roughly even spaced hinges. 66 there, and 66 this way there, and then the distance between the two, well, we've got 67, but like I say, it was 66, 66, 666, so I've rounded down to 66 centimetres. So I'm 10 mil thereabouts out, but that's fine. They're going to be evenly spaced down. So the only difference here is 10 mil bigger, but that's fine. It all looks evenly spaced, so that's more than good enough. Now that we've done that, it's time for our hinge. So using my special little cutter that I got from Amazon, it just clamps on there like so. Put it in line with your pencil mark, clamp it on, put your drill on. I've already got the depth preset. Remember to turn it and then go one lock back, guys, and that locks it in. Make sure that we've got a nice support underneath. Don't want it on hammer. Remember to don't try and plunge all at once, clean the slot out, and there you go, it's your first one. Just got to repeat that another 3 times. Okay, so we've now got all 4 hinges cut out, so we're just going to run around and carefully just rub down all the edges, because these edges can be like razor blades if you catch these wrong when they're freshly cut. So just going to give them a light rub, and not only that, it helps take the paint better. So we do that on this side. flip it over, do it on that side, and then basically we're going to paint this door. I'm not going to go mad rubbing this down, you literally just want to give it a very, very faint one. Just get rid of that furriness. Just taking that edge off. You don't want to round it too much because we're trying to make this look like it's hidden almost, so the sharper the edge the better, but at the same time you've got to paint it, so the worst of two evils you're aiming for, the lesser of two evils even. Okay, so that's that done. So all I'm going to do now is we're going to hit that with a couple of coats of primer out here before we put the hinges on. Try and get it as white as possible, so then we can hit it with one coat or two coats of satin wood. While that's drying, we can be cutting and doing the fillers inside. So what I might do is provisionally hang this just so I get my measurements for my fillers, and then we'll go from there and see how things pan out. I use a very long straight edge, which is my track in this case, to square up all my hinges, and then we pilot them and screw them in. It's quite a simple way of doing it. Just make sure that your hinge stays square. That's the last thing you want. These wonky hinges. Don't forget guys, if you got this far into the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more content. If you've got any questions guys, please don't be shy. Always like to answer questions when we're doing these sort of videos. And there we go, so this is basically now ready to hang. So I'm going to use a couple of mil spacer just to space this off, so that I can mark up where my hinges have got to go on the frame. Then I've got a little jig that I use to mark out our fixings inside the cabinet. So come with me inside and we'll get that done. Alright, so we've got our door sitting on a packer, and what we're doing here is where our pencil mark there, we're going to transfer it onto our cabinet in all four spaces. Okay, so we've marked where our hinges are going to go. So what we're going to do now is put the a set square in, make those lines a bit bigger, all the way down, and then we're going to use another Amazon special jig. And these big holes are 5mm, I've made them 5mm, and then they will go on there like that. And then we can see our line through that hole, plus through there as well, and then we can pre-drill our fixing holes. Alright, so we use the set square, we've made all our lines a bit bigger, so now we're just going to use the jig like I said. That just sits on there. You can eyeball your line through this centre hole. This has already been preset. It's a 5mm drill bit for the hinges we're using. So what we're going to do now is do that another 3 times. Okay, so we've now pre-drilled all of our hinge holes. So now we should be able to just throw this door on, clip those hinges in, screw it on, tweak it and adjust it to the right place so it's all nice and shutting properly. And then from there we can then mark out our side fillers, and then we'll be ready for paint. I can always edit it. Alright, set that one there. This is why I like the blunt hinges. If you get the right ones, they come with basically a 5mm raw plug that's clipped to the frame. And if you drill your holes right, you can literally hang the door just by pushing them in. And you haven't got to worry then. It should all there. then line up just like this. A bit of luck. Perfect. Now you've got to remember, these aren't soft close, because we're going to have push to open buttons in the centre here that you'll push in and then it'll open. So we've still got that to fit, and then there'll be a magnet on the other side as well which will hold it shut. But that effectively is our door fitted. Okay, so we've fitted our push to open. So all I've done is found the middle of this bit of timber here, as you can see, from that edge to that edge, from the centre, done a 5mm pilot, then a 7mm, then a 10mm, and then that is going to be our push to open. And then this is magnetic, and there'll be a magnetic piece on there once it's painted, which will then hold that shut to that point, and then you just literally pushed it open and you can get it to, and then that'll sit there like that. Happy days. Okay guys, so the door is on. Obviously with the push to open, it will pull the door off the frame more. So what I've done is, to make this almost flush here, we've just pried it off a tad, and we've put a shim in which will then cork all this up. So next job is to put a filler in here and a filler in there. So I've already measured this, and this wall's I put a level on this wall, and it's really good and it's flat, so that's good news. So it's only 26mm. So what we're going to do, so the blade is 3mm, so we will literally rip this down at 26mm, but we'll put our blade on the inside of the pencil mark, which will reduce it by 3mm, which will give us a 23mm rip, which is easy because when you cut that much off of a full board, it's difficult. So if you allow the extra for the blade, and then you can reduce it down and still get the same size cut. So 23mm should sit in there with a nice gap to allow for the door to open and close. So let's go get that ripped down, then we'll get it cut to height, and then hopefully I'll go straight in, a few packers just to get it so that it all sits flush. We'll pin it and cork it, and then happy days, that'll be that one done as well. So let's get outside, get it ripped down. So we're doing our cuts again, sliding rule, and literally sliding rule off, 26mm, 26mm. That's now in place, so I won't get that down, that'll now be 23mm. We'll cut it to the right height, and hopefully once it's pinned on and spaced out correctly, it'll all look pucker. So let's get that ripped down. Okay, so we've now cut that, we've given it a light rub on the edges just to, like I say, take that furry edge off and give it a bit easier. So let's go test fit that. We've cut it to height, which I just whipped off with the handsaw. There's no point getting a chop saw out just for that. So we're going to test fit it, see how she looks, and go from there. Okay, so all our fillers are done. We repeated the same on the right hand side as we did the left hand side. We just measured it, cut it, put a bit of Decorator's cork down there, nice and neat. So this is what we're dealing with. So we've got it flush there, and it's flush. Gaps a little bit big at the top there, but it was so hard to get the gaps adjusted. Hopefully we can tweak the door maybe a little bit over that side. We're going to trim the door a little bit because it's a little bit off there. So we're just going to plane from that side down, and then that'd be good. But otherwise, that's looking pretty good. So that's everything from you can see now will be painted white. And then obviously you've got the push to open. So that bit there will be white, the sides will be white, and then the inside will just stay as is. If you got this far guys, don't forget, please hit that like, share and subscribe button, and stay tuned. We're going to take this outside now. It has started raining, so we've put the gazebo up. So we can now go outside, take this door off, take the hinges off, give it a light rub, hit it with a coat of paint, a couple of coats of primer. While that's going off, we can then come in here and cork up, and so on and so forth. Get this all corked, any little bits of filler that are needed, and then get it finished. Stay tuned for the final result guys. Okay, so we've filled all the pinholes with a ready mix filler which dries really quick, so we've given that a little rub down. Now we're just going to cork up the outside beads. So now we're just going to cork our outside beads around there, and our inside beads carefully and clean them off so we don't have, we want to minimise white on this, so we're just going to carefully caulk these and these bits everywhere where it needs it. And then when that's gone off, we can leave that for an hour while we paint the door, and then we can come in and then carefully paint these, get them all nice and white, and then that's basically us done for today. So very quick job today. We're on the painting side of it now, so I'm just going to carefully caulk this up with decorator's caulk using a sponge and water to carefully remove the excess. So you don't want to get too mad with this stuff because it'll take forever to dry. So I'm going to put a quick bead on, sponge it down, leave it to dry, and then we can cut it all in with the primer. So when I do my masticing, I put I'm not overly generous, but I put a decent amount in, and then I use my silicone tool, but I don't use the chamfered edge, I use the square edge because I want to use it at an angle to push the cork into the gap. So as you can see, I've done all down that bit and just across there. So using my cork tool, I'm just going to start at the top and just come down, pushing the cork in and getting rid of the excess. It's going to be a fair bit of it, but this is water based, so it doesn't really matter. All I'm trying to do is get as much pushed into the gap but leave it square so that it dries quicker. There we go. Do that. Keep doing that all the way around, and then I'll get a sponge and clean off the excess when I've done that. Okay. That's it. That leaves that bit of a mess, but now we're going to get a sponge and just wipe that excess off, and then I'll show you the end result. Okay, so it's now completely corked up. There's a couple of bits I've missed, I just spotted, but I'll do them in a second. But just to give you a general look at what we've done. As you can see now, you've got your white cork lines, we've kept it off the main frame much as possible. So we'll put a bit of masking tape down that next, and then we can then paint these green bits with the primer, that bit across there with the primer, get a couple of coats on it, and then it's just top coating with a little rub down in between. Okay, so the back is finished, the frame on the inside is finished. So it's had a top coat of primer. So we're just going to put a bit of masking tape on the ceiling line so I can roll up and get a nice rolled finish to try and make it look eggshelly compared to the walls. But that basically is the end result. And as you know, it's going to be pushed to open like so. So that will be what it's like on the inside. We're not going to bother trying to fill that in, it's a bit pointless because it's hidden by the door. And not only that, it's not going to be the same colour, so it would look out of place. So leaving it as it is will be fine. So stay tuned for the really finished result, and then we'll be at the door. See you soon. Okay guys, so it's finished. I've just got to remove the masking tape. This is the final result. I'm done. Satin wood side finish on the doors. Nice and flat. We're leaving it in an orange peel because it's supposed to be like a disguised door to make it almost disappear into the wall. It's never going to be completely gone because you've got to have the lines and that, but it just tidies it up. Very happy customer. So don't forget guys, please hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next week when we start a full kitchen refurb, and that's going to include latexing over tiles, new kitchen, Caulking type floor, new radiator moved and a new tall radiator fitted, tiled splashbacks. There's quite a lot of work going in next week, so stay tuned for that one, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.